What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer. Overwatch 2 Season 10 recently launched to a thunderous meh from the community. I'll be honest with you all, Season 10 has been a bit of a strange one in terms of how it actually hit upon its release. There have been some great things added this season, like the new hero venture, many of the skins and cosmetics, the clash trial, but then there's also been a number of questionable decisions on Blizzard's part when it comes to the pricing of certain things, and some odd little battle pass nerfs, which I think a lot of people have maybe overlooked. But let's actually delve into the content released in Season 10 and break down the different additions and changes in different aspects of this season to see what's good, what's bad, and what ultimately ends up leaving me feeling kind of indifferent. So first up, let's go ahead and start with what's always one of my favorite things to talk about in any new season, which is the cosmetics. Yes, the season's theme, first and foremost, is one which was highly anticipated by people in the community ever since it was first announced way back at BlizzCon 2023, which is the Mirror Universe theme, called Mirrorwatch in the season officially, because this naming convention is the only way Blizzard knows how to name anything when it comes to Overwatch, it would seem. But with the season itself, we did of course get a number of Mirror Universe skins. Talon villains become Overwatch heroes become Talon villains, with even some of the non-exclusively Overwatch and Talon themed characters like Zenyatta and Symmetra getting their own little spin-off type skins, which admittedly, I feel like these are actually some of the strongest skins this season. But we cannot talk about Season 10 skins without of course acknowledging the Season 10 Mythic skin, which of course went to Mercy. Now, personally, this skin really doesn't do it for me. I don't play Mercy, and I'm not a fan of this aesthetic, so for me, I'm like, cool, you people who enjoy it, I'm glad you like it. I'm gonna stay over here with Emperor Sigma. But yeah, all things considered, I think it's a fine skin. On an objective detail level, I think Blizzard did a pretty good job with the Mercy Mythic. I really like the visual effects specifically that the skin has. I think that is by far the most interesting and exciting part of it, although it is a little underwhelming that she doesn't have more unique stuff going on with her voice lines. For example, her ultimate voice line is literally just her default ult. Like, really? They couldn't come up with anything more intimidating or evil for her to use when ulting? I don't know. Again, bit of a missed opportunity if you ask me. But for the most part, yeah, I think Vengeance Mercy is a solid Mythic skin. Obviously, there are a lot of people who really like this skin, and I'm glad that people are excited to get it. Although there has, of course, been some confusion surrounding the skin, in large part when it comes to the introduction of the Mythic Shop. Now, this is something which, again, we knew was coming for a long time. It was technically first announced back at BlizzCon 2023, even though they didn't really detail how it was going to work until more recently. But basically, the way it works now is that rather than earning a Mythic skin through leveling up a Battle Pass, you earn Mythic Prisms through leveling up the Battle Pass, which then can be used to purchase a Mythic skin in the Mythic Shop. Ultimately, this plays out the same in terms of being able to finish a Battle Pass to get a Mythic skin, but it also comes with the added benefit of being able to purchase other Mythic skins other than whatever one is for the current season. For example, if I didn't have all the past Mythic skins already, I could use the Mythic Prisms I got from the Season 10 Battle Pass to buy Amaterasu Kiriko or Galactic Emperor Sigma, which is great in terms of just giving players more options to pick and choose the different cosmetics they want and earn the actual skins they're interested in earning. But there has been a bit of contention when it comes to the price of these Mythic Prisms, because no, the Battle Pass is not the only way you can get them. You can also purchase Mythic Prisms directly in the Mythic Shop. And to save you all the effort of having to do the maths and whatnot, if you want to get a Mythic skin and all its customization options from just purchasing Mythic Prisms as opposed to playing a Battle Pass, you would need to spend $70 US. 70. That is how much a Mythic skin now officially costs based off of the Mythic Prisms in the shop. $70 US to get a Mythic skin. Again, most of these Mythic skins can be gotten for far cheaper through purchasing the Battle Pass and then leveling up to get Mythic Prisms that way, but the fact that we now have a concrete number on how much a Mythic skin is apparently worth, yeah, people have been a little up in arms. $70 is quite steep for getting a skin. I mean, there's no debating that. But if I'm being totally honest, I don't really see this as an issue. Again, this is basically just an option for people who didn't play a past season and thus couldn't get the Mythic skin during that past season's battle pass to now get the Mythic skin after the fact. While $70 is certainly a lot, even for a Mythic skin, it's a better alternative than literally not being able to get the skin at all, and especially given the way Blizzard has implemented the Mythic prisms, where completing a battle pass gives you prisms as opposed to the skin itself. Let's say this season you don't care about the Mercy Mythic skin and instead finish the battle pass only to use those Mythic prisms to get Cyber Demon Genji or some other past skin instead. Overall, without a doubt, I think the introduction of the Mythic Skins shop and the Mythic prisms as a currency is actually a net benefit for Overwatch and Overwatch players. So when I see people getting all up in arms about the price of buying Mythic prisms directly, I think that's a bit silly, especially compared to what Blizzard did do when it comes to the Hanzo and Kiriko skins this season. Yes, the Hashimoto skins, the mirror universe versions of Kiriko and Hanzo. Both of them are fine looking skins, however, they should be classified as merely epics. We know this because they are merely the base model for Hanzo and Kiriko, with only the models for the heads changed a little bit, and then the texturing and colors of the skin itself adjusted, which is typically what we see changed when it comes to an epic skin, but both these skins are apparently being classified as legendaries, which means once they come into the Overwatch 2 shop sometime later this season, Blizzard is likely going to be charging legendary skin prices for what are effectively epic skins. Now, this technically isn't the first time Blizzard has done this. They did this many seasons ago with the Mime Moira skin, which had the exact same issue of literally being an epic skin, but being charged at a legendary skin price. Only now we're seeing it being done twice in one season, with two skins that are likely to be bundled together. One of them being for a fan favorite hero, being Kiriko, and, well, judging by the design of the skin, I'm willing to bet there are quite a few people who are going to be spending a legendary amount of coins in order to get this skin, which is of course a little bit concerning. Not that there are people willing to spend this much money on a skin for their favorite hero, but because it definitely feels like Blizzard is trying to push the limits of what they can classify as a legendary skin in order to make more money. Yes, it's a age-old business practice of taking something that we typically got for a lower price and slowly edging it up until you reach the point where you can charge a lot more money for that exact same thing. I think it is very safe to say that that's what's happening here with these Kiriko and Hanzo skins, though admittedly, for all we know, there might be some other weird little things going on here. We haven't actually seen the prices of these skins just yet. They are not currently in the shop at the time of me recording this video. They are merely in the hero gallery and are classified as legendary, which means they're probably going to be charged at legendary skin prices. Then again, we have had situations where things looked similar to this and ended up being a bit different, namely the Gingerbread Bastion skin back in 2022, which originally was added as a legendary skin that had an epic hero skin model, but turned out to in fact be a part of a special Christmas promotion type thing where you could get the skin for only one Overwatch coin. So for all we know, technically something similar might end up happening with these two skins as well. Do I think that's going to be the case? No, I think Blizzard is just going to objectively try charging a lot of money for an epic skin here, but technically it could happen, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But needless to say, I think, at least in terms of the Kiriko skin, Blizzard's probably going to be getting away with it this time. But before we wrap up skins, let's go ahead and talk about the last cosmetic thing worth addressing in Season 10, which is the basically utter lack of skins and cosmetics for Venture. Yes, the newest hero added to the roster, Venture, the fun little drilling hero. They have no epic skins, no legendary skins, barely even any victory poses and emotes, and it is quite disappointing. We do know they're evidently going to be getting an epic skin sometime in the latter half of Season 10 based off of this image we see here with them in an ice cream outfit. But at least for the initial launch of Season 10 and them as a hero in-game, they got basically nothing, not even a Battle Pass skin, which is actually a first for new hero editions in Overwatch 2. Now, there's a lot of different ways you could look at this. Personally, I think the reason we're seeing this happen, and this is actually another case of something which Blizzard has been slowly sort of inching toward with each Overwatch 2 hero release over the past year and a half, is basically the fact that Blizzard doesn't want to give away free cosmetics, so to say. The base skins and cosmetics for any given hero historically have always been obtainable through just spending credits in the hero gallery, which, especially for us veteran Overwatch players who've accumulated a ton of credits over the course of Overwatch 1, basically means that all these items are free. It's the special Overwatch 2 cosmetics that are only obtainable through purchasing coins, where Blizzard actually is able to make money off of cosmetic items in Overwatch, which is why I think we're starting to see Blizzard add fewer base cosmetics for a given hero, because again, that's basically free cosmetics for people who would otherwise have to spend money on coins in order to get Battle Pass and other shop skins for a given hero that might release later down the line. Again, a clear-cut example of Blizzard just finding a way to get more money out of more players is what it is. Nothing new here. But it is still sad to see poor old Venture get shafted in such a way, and likely is a poor omen for Space Ranger and other future heroes coming later down the line. But speaking of Venture, how are they? They're a new hero, they're really exciting, they should be the flagship of the season's launch. I mean, heck, the season is even named after Venture specifically. So are they an exciting, bombastic addition to the roster? Yeah, sure. I guess so. Again, I think there's sort of a weird thing going on where, given that we've all gotten the opportunity to play Venture during the free trial weekend that happened a few weeks ago, Venture's actual release into the game as part of Season 10 doesn't feel nearly as exciting. We've already experienced everything that the hero has to offer, save for like in-game voice interactions, because we've all played them already. We've gotten to test their mechanics, see the sort of interactions they have with other heroes. So yeah, it's nice to finally have them properly in the game, and especially in competitive as well. But in terms of being an exciting new content addition to the game, it's cool, nice, glad they're here, but they're kind of old news at this point, let's be honest. And it doesn't help that we've blatantly known about them since as far back as BlizzCon 2023, so yeah, I'll be honest, I'm glad they're here. It's nice to have a new damage hero on the roster, but in terms of the excitement of a new content edition, they're old news. That's just the fact of the matter of it. Now, originally at this point, I was going to move on to talking about the Wrecking Ball changes, but the more I play Wrecking Ball, the more I realize I need to do a full-on proper video talking about his mini rework this season. The changes for Wrecking Ball have been very, very strange, to say the least, and the more I play as him in Season 10, the more confounded I feel, but at the same time, I kind of like it. So I think I'm going to be doing my own separate video talking about the Wrecking Ball rework, which once that's uploaded, I'll have a card linking to it on screen now. But for the time being, I'll put off discussion of that because there's quite a bit to delve into there. But just know, for the time being, Wrecking Ball did get his mini rework, and I am very intrigued by it. That's all I'll say for now. But moving on to the next major addition in Season 10, we have the Clash Trial. Yes, the new Overwatch 2 standard game mode that will eventually be coming to quick play and competitive. Got its trial weekend during the start of Season 10, and it's called Clash. It's set on Hanaoka, a remixed version of the Hanamura map, and much like the Wrecking Ball rework, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. Clash is a very fast-paced and very, very hectic game mode. It feels not quite as intuitive, I would say, as some of the more standard game modes like Control Point or Escort, but it's certainly fun. It definitely has this very sort of like whiplash rubber banding sort of effect I've noticed, where it'll feel like you're doing really well as a team. You maybe get 3 objectives in a row that you're pushing through and you're about to finally beat them, only to then lose a team fight and have the enemy team just absolutely absolutely snap back all the way to the other side and end up winning, which is kind of exciting because you never really know how a match is going to actually end up resolving until basically the moment the match resolves. But it can also be a little frustrating, especially if you get that initial heavy push and it's like, oh yeah, we're going to do it. Our team is doing so well. We're going to beat them. We're going to push all the way to the end to get that quick victory, only to have that just get undermined by losing a single team fight and just feeling like you suddenly get bulldozed by the enemy. It's really weird, and I don't dislike it outright. I think it's fun because it's hectic and chaotic in this sort of way, but in a lot of ways, I think that makes it feel more like an arcade game mode along the lines of Total Mayhem or Mystery Heroes, as opposed to a core competitive mode. I feel like this mode could actually end up being very frustrating to play in competitive because of this very thing. Having your team work together well, get a good strong push, make it to the point where you almost win, only to have things just sort of rubber band back in your face and then get stuck in these super long drawn out stalls over a final point, which I've had a couple of those in Clash so far, and good lord, are they fun, but really, really frustrating when you lose. Yeah, I can't help but feel like this is going to be a mode that people complain about on the competitive side of the player base, but is probably actually going to be enjoyed quite a bit on the more casual side. Again, it does feel very arcadey, and it feels like a mode that should land somewhere between arcade and quick play, in that it's not so arcadey that I think it would actually belong in the arcade, but still doesn't feel quite polished and fine-tuned enough to be a quick play competitive mode. And again, this is an early trial, it's not the proper release of this game mode, so I'm sure Blizzard will polish it up, they'll adjust some things between now and whenever the mode actually releases, and I'm sure that this is something they'll address and try to better fine-tune. But at least for the time being, I will admit I have certainly been having fun playing Clash, but it does feel strange in certain ways where I think people would start to complain about it if it went into the standard quick play competitive rotation as it is now. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that front, that's just my initial thoughts. But the last thing to talk about here when it comes to Season 10 is, well, kind of just the Battle Pass itself and a lot of the little changes that have happened revolving around it. As I mentioned earlier, Mythic Skins are no longer part of the Battle Pass itself, but rather you earn the Mythic Prisms as you move up through the tracks. But additionally, perhaps the biggest and most exciting change for a lot of people is the fact that new heroes now going forward, and also retroactively applying to all past Overwatch 2 hero releases, are now free and available for all players, regardless of whether you spend money on the Battle Pass or level up or any of that sort of stuff. You just get the new heroes for free, which for a veteran player like myself literally has no impact on anything, but for a lot of more casual players who perhaps haven't purchased past Battle Passes or don't like purchasing Battle Passes outright, they now have the option to play not only the newest hero venture, but also past heroes like Kiriko, Ramatra, and Malga. Honestly, this is a really great change Blizzard has implemented. Also, the Overwatch coins, which previously could have been earned through completing weekly challenges, have been shifted from those weekly challenges into the Battle Pass itself and had their numbers increased, meaning that over the course of a given season, it's not only easier to earn those coins, since you just have to complete the Battle Pass instead of doing weekly challenges, but also you have the potential to earn more coins over the course of the season, which again is a great thing. However, not everything Blizzard did with the Battle Pass is that great in actuality. There's a few little downsides sort of hidden in the details I think a lot of people have perhaps overlooked with these Season 10 changes, one of which is that while yes, the coins are no longer part of the weekly challenges, there were some unfortunate changes made to said weekly challenges, which is that the total number of them per week has actually been reduced. And sure, while you don't need to do these challenges anymore to get those coins, there's still a great source of XP, and now that there's fewer weekly challenges per week, it's actually now harder to gain XP through completing challenges, and as such, harder to level up the Battle Pass. So yes, in a very roundabout way, Blizzard has bolstered the Battle Pass with the coins and the Mythic Prisms and everything, but at the same time, technically made it harder to actually gain levels in it. So a bit of a trade-off there that's worth taking note of, and also the fact that with moving coins and prisms into the Battle Pass itself, these rewards have actually replaced what otherwise would have been tiers that feature featured low-tier cosmetics like souvenirs, sprays, and maybe even voice lines and such. While for many players, these low-tier cosmetics really aren't that appealing, and a lot of people probably don't care that they're missing, it still feels kind of bad to see Blizzard removing stuff like that in favor of just cramming in these currencies, when previously we used to see tiers sharing a credit payout and a spray or voice line or whatever. Now it's just one or the other, and because of that, there's technically fewer cosmetics in the battle pass itself. Again, I imagine a lot of people won't really care, since it is the lower tier stuff we're missing out on as opposed to the bigger skins and highlight intros and such. But still, a little bit of a drawback there with Blizzard kind of nerfing the battle pass, not only when it comes to the speed of actually leveling it up, but also with some of the content in it. So in conclusion though, now that I've covered everything important to talk about in Season 10, what are my conclusive thoughts on this double-digit season? Well, honestly, as I said at the beginning, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I think there's some really great things. I like Venture being in the game. I think a lot of the skins are really cool. But overall, I found myself just sort of underwhelmed by this season, and I kind of struggle to really place my finger on why exactly I feel that way, but I think it's just there really doesn't seem like there's anything super outstanding when it comes to the content we got. Yes, Venture's cool, but we already got to play them weeks ago, and we've known about them for months. Mirrorwatch is cool, but given that we all had so much hype and expectation for this theme to begin with, I can't help but feel like it's kind of failed to live up to our expectations. This, along with so many of the other changes and updates that came in Season 10 being really sort of nitty-gritty, almost quality of life type changes, and ones that are largely focused at more casual players. For veteran players like myself, and I imagine many of you watching this video, the season kind of feels lackluster in a way. I don't know, I'm actually really curious to hear what others have to say on this front, since I imagine if you are a more casual player, where this season is your first opportunity to get to play many of those Overwatch 2 heroes, or an opportunity for you to get some of those mythic skins you'd missed out on previously, then it's probably a really exciting season for you. So on that note, I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you impressed by Season 10? Are you excited by the changes they introduced? Or are you like me and ultimately feel kind of underwhelmed with the content we ended up getting? As always, be sure to subscribe, hit up that bell icon, follow me on X, and join my Discord server to hang out and never miss any of my future Overwatch 2 news streams and other content. And special thanks to my YouTube channel members who help make these videos possible. If you'd like to join them to earn some cool rewards, then just hit that join button down below. Otherwise, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.